What's up, everybody? Jason from Straight Edge. I say we've got a review for you today. It's on a folding knife, and it is coming out of HX Outdoors. Now, I just recently did a review on another HX Outdoors folding knife. It was the Rock Fluorite TD15T. It is a D2 steel titanium handle folder. This thing was actually very robust and pretty damn tough for the price. I recommend to go check out my video on this one, guys. It was a really good knife for a folder. I mean, everything worked great, but this one, we're looking at the Rock Sapphire, guys. So where the Rock Fluorite came in with a liner lock, a little bit different blade shape, this bad boy right here is coming in button lock format, guys. Check this out. Very cool. Nice little EDC blade right here. Loving the blade shape. Nice little drop point with a swedge on there. Guys, when I opened up the box, what came in here was a nice little cleaning cloth. Here's a little HX Outdoors kind of information. It's got a little bit of info on there. Flip it over on the back. They have like some QR codes and things like that. You guys want to scan those if you want. But came with a nice little hard carrying case, just like the Rock Fluorite did. Nice little hard plastic case, very cool. So you could kind of utilize this for other things. Carry your knife in there, maybe store some fire making materials, things like that. But guys, let's get into this. This is the HX Outdoors Rock Sapphire. I think the product number is like -2D-1145, something like that. Not that you need to know that, but this is a Rock Sapphire. Button lock. Man, this thing is pretty slick. It's got nice action to it. Flicks right open. The button lock catches very nicely. It's got like a solid. I'm just gonna put this in my. Oop, close it on the. Kind of hear a clicking noise, but it's weird. It's not like a bad click. It's like I know it's engaging click, you know, which is kind of nice. It's like boom, boom. Look, flip it open, close it. I could even button lock, open and close it easily. I mean, the action on this is very, very nice, guys. Looking up on the website, these are coming in at $29.99. Right now they're on sale, and I'm like thinking to myself, for $29.99, man, you can't beat the quality and action on this right now. At least as far as I could tell from before we get over there and start testing it out. But just opening and closing, very nicely done. Let's get into the specs on this real quick, guys. So this is made out of the blade is D2 tool steel, right? Very nice little, you know, it's a good steel option for this knife, right? And it's coming out of 60 Rockwell. You have titanium handles. Your blade thickness is 3.2 millimeters. Your handle thickness is 12.7. You have a total length on this blade of 6.7 inches, so it's not like super huge. Your handle length is 3.8, so it is a little bit of a, it's not necessarily a full grip. I got XL hands, but if I close, you can see the end of the knife is just right here. My pinky's just kind of resting on the bottom, but it feels good. It feels solid. I feel like I got a good grip on this. You know, it's not like a 4-inch or 5-inch handle, but with this 3.8-inch handle, it makes it nicer to carry in your pocket. It takes up a little bit less real estate in there, you know, because we all got our pockets stuffed with everything nowadays, between phones, wallets, keys, and some people are carrying around 2 phones, 3 phones. It's getting wild out there, guys. But anyway, your handle length is 3.8 inches. Your blade length, you're looking at 2.4, so you got a nice blade length that's going to come in nicely underneath some legal limits, depending on where you live at. You know, a lot of states are different, so please always check your knife laws on what you can and cannot carry. And then your weight on this is 4.09 ounces, so it's not even a very heavy knife either. So it's very nicely done. It's got these nice kind of cutouts in the handle, as you can see there. That's going to reduce some of the weight. You can see the liners. Now, one thing I will point out on this one, and actually I noticed it on this one as well, there is just a tiny bit of a little bit of separation between the liner and the handle on one handle scale. It's not really a big deal. It's not affecting the performance of the knife, but it's just something I did notice, and I pointed out to you guys because that's what I do. You know, that's what I'm supposed to do. But overall, though, everything else on this knife is fine. The blade is centered very nicely. It's a nice centered blade. The action is very smooth. It doesn't feel gritty or you know, like gritty or difficult. Everything on this thing a lot of the stuff on here is very nicely like chamfered, rounded off, polished. You know, you can see down in there. So, I mean, it adds to the smoothness of this blade opening and closing. It did come out of the box sharp. It's got a real nice edge to it. I do like how they put the swedge on here too. If you guys can see that swedge kind of coming down. So it gives it a cool look, you know. Got a nice pocket, deep carry pocket clip there. You can see there's a lanyard hole as well. So, I mean, overall, just the fit and finish look on this knife, besides that one just little bit of gapping space right there. And, but I mean, again, if you look at it, it's not a big deal, I don't think, you know. Except for the price. Come on, guys. I don't think you're going to be able to beat this. I'm really curious, though, as to how well this button lock is going to hold up over at the testing area, because that's, you know, that's an important part of the knife, right? Is the lock going to hold up? And now on the rock fluorite with this liner lock, this thing actually held up really damn well, and I was able to do some batoning with this thing and everything. That lock didn't give, you know. So one thing I will point out: let's hold these two up next to each other. They do have similar handles, right? They look very similar, but they are different. Check this out together. Very cool. This one, the rock fluorite, great blade. I'll have a link to that down in the description below as well. Make sure you go check that out, as well as the review on that one. But guys, let's get over to the testing area, and let's test out the rock sapphire and see this little budget button lock is going to be able to hold up to some abuse. Stay tuned. All right, everybody, we're over at the testing area. Sun's shining down bright, guys. It's a beautiful day today, and we got this rock sapphire ready to go. I don't know why I had a brain fart right there. We had this rock sapphire ready to go, guys. Give you a nice look at that, and let's get to it, guys. So obviously for EDC tasks, you might have to cut some rope, right? So here we got some 550 cord. We're gonna come in here, just, oh, I mean, that's just cut through that, easy peasy, bam. I don't know why I keep using, for some reason I've been on this kit, guys, using easy peasy lemon squeezy. I don't know why, because it's an old ass outdated term, right? But as you guys can see, the rope here, I mean, this paracord, it's cutting through it, not a problem, you know, which I wouldn't suspect it would have an issue with that. Let's jump up into a little bit thicker rope though. Let's say I got this blue kind of nylon cotton, I don't even know what they put in this stuff, but it's a little bit thicker. So let's just come in here, boom, cut right through it easily. Look at that, nice cuts, cutting right through that stuff. Let's say you had to do a little chop though, right? So now this is where we're going to start jumping into testing this lockout, because we're going to start doing a little bit of chopping. Do not recommend that you chop with your knife. Sometimes you might have to though, right? It comes up, you might have, oh, I need to cut this quick. Well, bam, right there, I just cut it quick, and everything feels tight. Not that I've been beaten on a lot, but it should still feel tight. But very good, awesome. So let's get into a little bit something a little thicker here. We got this yellow poly rope, guys. This stuff is, you know, it's not always the easiest stuff to cut, but we're gonna come in here. Yeah, cutting off chunks of it, making a mess, making it snow, yellow snow there. Cutting that rope, good to go. Let's say you got bigger, thicker sissy rope, guys. Now this isn't a giant knife, right? It's a 2.8 inch blade, I believe it was. Yeah, cutting right through, ready to go. Definitely recommend you save this stuff if you can, because it does make a good fire starter. So cutting through some rope, got it. Let's say you got to cut through some fire hose, guys. Fire hose is tough, it's abrasive, it's you know, made to go through car crashes, twisted metal, broken glass, so it's got to be cut and abrasion resistant, right? So that piece is already kind of cut. So we got this piece right here, we're gonna cut through this. I'll tell you guys, this HX Outdoors came with a really nice edge, and it is cutting cleanly, pretty damn cleanly through that fire hose. Let's give it a little stab test here, guys. We're gonna come in here, testing that lockout, right? We got these two pieces doubled up. So that's what, 6 layers of canvas and 2 layers of rubber, essentially. Because if you guys don't know what a fire hose, there's 2 layers of canvas, 1 layer, and the second layer has a piece of rubber that's glued inside. So we're gonna double that up. Bam. Yep, tip's just right there. Stabbed all the way through. Yeah, tip is right there. Right there, right there. You barely see it, but stabbed all the way through. Not a problem. I like it. We got some old rickety ratchet strap here, guys. This is a kind of a cheapy ratchet strap, but a lot of times, you know, sometimes these things get tangled up and you just gotta cut them off, right? Bam. Cutting through ratchet strap material, or at least the lighter duty ratchet strap material, you are not going to have an issue. There we go. Bam. So you can get that stuff out of your way. Now let's get into the stab test a little bit. Some more. We got a catalog here. It's pretty thick. You know, it's kind of cut up a little bit, but I like to stab these, you know, because there's a lot of resistance in this paper, you know. So, and we're putting a lot of pressure on this locking mechanism. Yeah, I mean, it's stabbing through nicely. Let's see here. So I was able to get about a quarter of the way through the catalog. The tip is just barely sticking out right there, if you guys can see that. So pretty good little stabs. I mean, this is a little bit of a wider blade, so as it comes in, obviously it's not gonna, if it was narrower, it would dig a little deeper, but I mean, this is still really good penetration for this knife. Yeah. Flip this over. Yeah, about a quarter of the way through again. So stabbing, gonna hold up pretty good. That's still a needle point tip. Left and right play is still good. Front to back is still good. We don't have any chipping or rolling on the edge. All still good there. So awesome. So one other thing, you know, a lot of times you might have to run into, you might have to cut some clothing off. You run into a first aid scenario, somebody fell down, got hurt, got a compound fracture in the leg, got to cut that pant leg off or whatever, right? Come in here. Kind of got caught up on the choil there. Bam. Come in, cut these pants off. Nicely. Something to note, there is a little bit of a finger choil here, and so what was happening there for a second was, as I was cutting through, I was sliding the blade down, and then the pant was kind of getting caught on the choil right there. So something to note, if you're cutting through material, you might want to keep the knife back just a bit so that it doesn't get caught in the choil. But other than that, it's not bad. But that choil is going to give you a nice, if you got to do some finer work or something, you can get your finger up in there. I got a big finger, and I'm right up to the edge, but I'm not on it, so I can come in there and do that finer carving work if you need to. Now, what we're about to get into, guys, is, I would say, we're getting into a little bit of abuse here on knife. I don't recommend you baton or chop with your knife, with your folding knife. There's other options for that, but again, saying I heard one time, what's the best knife you got? Well, the best knife that you have is the one that you have on you, okay? Because if that's all you got, that's all you got, right? So think of it that way. This is just happens to be what you have on you, and you run into a situation where you might have to do some harder tasks that maybe the knife isn't designed for. You do want to have a little bit of a peace of mind that it might be able to, might be able to handle it, or should be able to handle it. And that's why I kind of do these tests here, guys, where I start doing a little bit of batoning. I don't go super crazy. I'm not trying to, my goal is not to destroy the knife. It is just to push it to its limits and a little bit beyond, right? Just so that way, you know, it's going to hold up to the rigorous abuse that you might have to put it through. Hope you never do, though, right? So we got this stick here. It's a, I don't know what this came off of. Came off a tree, obviously, but it's a decently kind of little thick twig stick. It's not, I wouldn't say it's a twig, but it's got some, what is it, about a 1/2 inch around maybe. So again, we're going to test this lock. We're going to put this right here on top, and we're going to get ourselves another little whacking stick right here, a little batoner, and we're going to test out that lock and that edge. Wow, this is a lot of pressure on a knife edge, guys. Oh, look at that. Look, it even hammered it through that second part and stuck it in the stump. So as it was coming through, it actually kind of cut the, I mean, it's a pretty clean cut, right? But let's check out the blade. What we need to know, though, is did the blade edge hold up? Because this is a thinner edge knife, right? Yeah. Front to back play is still good. Front to back and side to side, we're still good. Let's check the locking mechanism. Still opening and closing nicely, guys. So, I mean, that was some pretty good hits, Gare. Pretty good pressure on that edge, pretty good pressure on that lock, and it's still pretty damn solid. Let's jump up into another piece of wood here. Find something. I want to find something a little bit bigger. Okay, that's a little bigger. That's a part of a 2x4. If you guys can see that there. So we're going to come right here, down here on this thicker part. Set that blade edge right there, because it gives me enough edge that I can hit with the baton through this. All right, there we go. So the lock just closed on me. Still feels pretty, it closed on me, but it didn't collapse completely, and it locked right back up. So let's give it a few more little whacks. Trying to make sure that my finger isn't up on it and I accidentally depress it either. All right, so it just started to give there. There we go. Let's take this out. Check this out. Make sure we didn't. Ooh. All right, guys. I think I pushed it a little too far. Actually, yeah, I did. I pushed it a little too far. That's on me. I don't fault the knife for this. I accidentally sheared off the button lock. My bad. I pushed it a little too far. I probably whacked it one too many times. I don't know. Yeah, I broke the lock off. So now it's a little bit floppy. And guys, I don't want to sit here and blame the knife. It's not the knife's fault. I was doing something you shouldn't be doing with a folding knife. But we do know that it can take some hits, but not a ton of hits. So I'm trying to push this button in here to see if I can engage the lock so I can close it. I'll have to play with that, guys. But yeah, I broke the did I shear that off, or can I take this apart and fix it? Doesn't look like I sheared it off, but that's pretty clean right across there. If I would have sheared it, I feel like it would have been a little bit more jagged. This might be fixable, guys. I'm not sure. I'm gonna have to take it apart to find out. But let's look at the blade, okay? Let's look at this edge. Look at this tip. The edge is still fine. After doing all that hitting, there's no chipping, no rolling. Looking at the rest of the knife, everything else is still nice and tight. The side-to-side blade play is not, it's what it has been since I opened it. So that's still pretty good. And my front to back is obviously a little wiggly because we lost the lock there. It is still realistically, it's still usable. It's locked open essentially, because what happened here is, as that broke off, the lock is still actually, the plunger is still actually engaged onto the blade. So but it just gave it a little bit of play. And it is a little bit cockeyed, the plunger is, so definitely would have to take this apart, play around with that. But I think realistically, if I had to still use this, I could. You know, I could still come in. Let's say, like I said, you got in that bad situation, and you had to do that, and you're like, oh crap, I broke the button. Is this going to close on my hand if I use it? Well, I still needed to do other tasks. Okay, cut that, no problem. Let's cut some more rope here, guys. I was able to come in here, still cutting rope. It's not, even though I'm even pushing on the back of this, and it's not closing. So, is it a catastrophic failure? Yes, but can I still use the knife the way it is? I can. I would just definitely have to be careful with it. Obviously, you're not going to be whacking on it no more, but if you had to come in and do things where the pressure is pushing back on the blade, like cutting rope, I think you're still going to be okay to use it to some degree. So that's a good thing. Bam, right there. So guys, I kind of at a loss here for, not lost, but I kind of can't really test it too much anymore until I figure that out or fix that if I can. But I don't want you to walk away from this video thinking, wow, that's a crap knife. I don't think it is. I think I pushed it a little bit past what it probably should be, right? Because it just is what it is. Like I told you, I want to make sure we see what we can take it to. This is actually, I was still pretty impressed. Like I was able to cut through this stick pretty good without any issues. I was hammering through a thicker piece of wood. So I'm not going to sit here and say it's the knife's fault. I put that on me because I was actually doing stuff with this knife that I wasn't supposed to be doing, right? Realistically, at the end of the day, if you look at it, I can't say that the knife was just a cheap piece of junk, because it's not. I think it's still a pretty solid knife. This blade, edge, and everything is still great. It's still sharp. Everything else still held up. I just put a lot of heavy pressure on a small piece of metal, right? And there's a darn good chance any button lock I do that with, I might have that happen. So keep that in mind, guys. The other fluorite liner lock, that thing's still rocking and rolling, and I think I might be able to fix this. I don't know, we'll have to see. So I'll have to take it apart. Maybe if I get time, I'll do a little follow-up video on that. But it is what it is, guys. If you're interested in picking one of these up, guys, there are links. And please don't, again, it's supposed to be an EDC knife, not a batoning knife, and I broke it. That's my bad. Guys, if you're interested in picking one of these up, which I would still say you should for $29.99, there are links below, right? I have an affiliate link. I'm going to put links to this one as well as the fluorite. I'm going to link to HX Outdoors and an affiliate link, essentially. If you guys are interested in picking one of these up, use that. It'll be awesome. But there it is, guys, Rock Sapphire. Let's see if I can't fix this bad boy. I think this is still a good knife, like, even though I broke it. It is what it is, guys. Stay safe, stay sharp, and we'll see you on the next one.